New player guide to complex deck strategies. Let's talk about it. So, my last video about for helping out new players and returning players who like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I briefly went over new player guide to deck building, talked about my 3-2-1 method, and overall ratios and how to be a better deck builder. In this video, I'm gonna go a little more in depth with deck building, so stay tuned. And once again, for you veterans out there who may have just got back in the game or may not already know this, you might learn something. So stay around because I'm about to go a little bit in depth on this one. So when you guys are building Yu-Gi-Oh decks, there's a lot of different things that go into it. And one thing I see that a lot of people get wrong is deck strategy. So for example, right, I will see people build whatever rogue deck they're playing or whatever meta deck they're playing, and they do not exactly know what their end goal for their deck. For example, Ryzo deck. My Ryzo deck, the pure build, when I was running it, that is, the whole main goal was to have an end board of Ryzo Detonator, Star Leash, Photon Dragon, Ryzo Cross, with like maybe one or two hand traps in the hand, and Ryzo Detonator typically at the end turn is gonna have like 3 materials attached to them with a Ryzo plugin set and or with the Ryzo trap card set. Now, what does this do for the Ryzo deck? For you guys that may or may not know who might be watching this in the future. In this current metagame right now, Ryzo is one of the best decks, mainly because of Ryzo Detonator. Ryzo Detonator has the ability to detach one material from him, he's an XYZ monster, to destroy one face-up card in the field by targeting. So this is really good for one main reason: resource limiting. When you finish out through your combo, which you can do off of one card in the Ryzo deck, just off of a off of a Exit Ryzo or a Ice Ryzo, and in some cases, 2 card hands with Sword Ryzo if you run things like the Spirit Engine or the Shark Engine. By ending your field on Ryzo Detonator with multiple pops, you're limiting your opponent's resources, and if you have hand traps backing that up, you're 1-for-1 trading, and essentially it's basic math. So for example, right, when you have your Ryzo Detonator on the field, he's going to be attaching the pop cards your opponent play. Even if your opponent's cards replace themselves, they only get 1 normal summon in a turn, and if they don't have any way to extend with a special summon, they have to end their turn on a half board. And let's not also forget the fact that if your opponent's playing continuous spells that require to be staying on a field to resolve their effects, because that's how a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards work. That's continuous spells like field spells that resolve on activation, like the Malice field spell. That when you activate it, it goes to your Malice card. The Live Twin continuous spell. That when you activate it, goes to your Malice Live Twin card. When you detach with anything like a Detonator or a Mystical Space Typhoon for your old school players out there, you destroy that card and it does not resolve because it has to remain face up on the field to resolve. So effectively, you're using 1 card off of your 1-card starter to stop your opponent's cards, and now they have less cards than you, and you're going to have way more advantage in them, and that's going to lead you to winning the game. Everything is pretty much basic card counting, not and basic card advantage strategy. It's also a reason why cards like Pot of Greed is banned, because when you have a card like Pot of Greed in the game, if you have more resources than your opponent, you're gonna win. The resource is the name of the game. So, in the simplified explanation of Ryzo on what the end goal is for most pure Ryzo decks, you kind of understand what you want to do in set combos. I can't tell you the amount of people who do play meta decks like a Ryzo, like a Malice, like a, let's say for example, Shark Ryzo, that is, but they do not know what they want to do. They have really great hands, but they end on half boards. Now, how can you fix this? Well, the main way you can fix this is by taking some time and doing your research on whatever deck you're building. So if you know it's going to play Ryzo, or if you know you're going to play Dragon Ruler, or whatever deck you guys might be playing in the future, do your research, see what the best end boards are, and practice. Practice, practice, practice is the best way you guys can learn how to develop a good end board, and also is going to help you guys develop better end boards. It's a reason why a lot of players discovered the Evil Swarm Ouroboros hand loop in the Mitsurugi Ryzo deck, because out of all of their playsets and they decided to do, they realized, okay, if I'm able to pop off full combo with this Mitsurugi Ryzo deck, and I can hand loop my opponent for 2, pitting them on less resources, end on a Mitsurugi Ritual monster that essentially forces your opponent to minus themselves by 1 by using a card. Because if you guys do not know, that's in the future, the Mitsurugi Ritual monster, it has a negation effect that says negate a spell, trap, or monster effect that's activated, but your opponent can choose to negate his effect by discarding a card out of your opponent's hand, by discarding a card out of their hand. So what this effectively do for anyone playing a deck like Mitsurugi Raizu or any hand loop deck in general, if you limit their resources and you're constantly burning their resources, make them burn more resources when they use their own cards, guess what? They're out of resources, effectively winning you the game within 1 or 2 turns. Now, once again, this goes into every deck. When I used to play my Machina Gadget deck, even though it was back in the day, it was a different format, my whole goal was to end on Draco Sack. Now, a lot of you guys don't know that Draco Sack back in the day, if you guys don't know what Draco Sack is, it's an XYZ monster, level 7, detach 1 material from him to special summon 2 tokens. The 2 tokens, I believe he can protect himself from the turn of battle, but he can tribute a token to pop a card. My end goal back in my old day back in the day was to end on that by doing a cluster F of combos to get it to the board, and you could definitely get it to the board back in the day with things like Machina Fortress. So I kind of knew what I was going to go into, and with practice against different decks of the metagame and learn how to play through different matchups, you're going to be able to get to that end board multiple different routes. Now, once you figure out what your strategy going to be for your deck that you're building, you got to honestly figure out what deck you like to play. So you got to play to your strengths. If you know you're a player like me, who right now I'm currently working a full-time 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week. I'm a parent, and I also have other hobbies like Beyblade. I like going to the gym. I'm a big foodie, so I like checking out new restaurants constantly. And of course, I like to go on the occasional date. Haven't been on any dates in a while because I've just been focusing on my own personal grind. But I have a life outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially. So if you know you're a person like me, it's probably in your best interest not to play these complex decks unless you are willing to sacrifice everything else in your personal life. Now, if you are a player like me who are not willing to do that and you want to enjoy all of your hobbies, play a deck that doesn't require a lot of thinking and strategy. For example, bringing up Raizu again. That's the reason why I wanted to personally play Raizu, because it does not have a level of complexity that's so complex that I couldn't figure it out with everything else I had going on in my life. But if you are a hard-working person, don't play a deck like Malice. Don't play a lot of these rogue decks like it's an easy rogue deck to play. Don't play a deck like Fire King that takes a lot of complex thinking. Play something that's easy to do, that's consistent, and that's going to be great for you to have some fun with, for example. So, but once again, this is all relative to the person. A lot of you guys might just be able to pick up one of those complex decks and learn it in a small speck of time. But if that's not you, don't get frustrated. It's not that you're a bad player, it's that you have a life outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you have to understand that, hey, I don't have the time to learn a complex deck, nor do I have the skill to learn how to be skillful with this complex deck. However, there's a deck like Raizu, for example. There's a deck like Monarchs, for example, that's easy to play and simple. There's even a deck like Blue Eyes White Dragon that's really popular, that's very simple to play. Yes, it has complex versions, but for the most part, the baseline inboard strategy combos are so simple, the average Yu-Gi-Oh! Player who works a 9-to-5 can learn it in a couple of hours that they just put the work in. So once you guys learn your own strengths and weaknesses within yourself, you guys will be good to go. And that's easier said than done. It takes a lot of self-reflection, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can do it. And the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to complex deck building is, honestly, man, learn more the in-depth plays of your deck. So once again, this takes time going into the strategy of your deck. Learn where to chain block within your deck. If you guys don't know about chain blocking, I'm going to make a separate video on that. Check, be on the lookout for that video. Probably going to be dropping this week or next week. I'm going to go in-depth about dueling strategy, but I just want to get the baselines first to help a lot of you guys out. But learn how to chain block when you're in your deck. Learn what hand traps beat your deck. Learn your deck's bad matchups. And realize when you go to a big event, okay, if I play against this deck, what I'm going to side deck in. If I play against the meta decks, what I'm going to side deck in. If I play against the mirror match, what I'm going to side deck in. And that way, you guys will be better. So working on your side deck and just focusing on your personal deck strategy will help you tenfold. Because I can't tell you guys the amount of times I played against people who, when they side against me, they don't know what to side against me. It just honestly F's a lot of people up. Now, sometimes people might be stalling for time. That's normal. A lot of the times people might have, You know, they might overthink things. You might be running a special tech in your deck and then not prep for it. Or sometimes people might change their opinion on the fly. I think that's a bad idea. I think that's really horrible. Like when I go to big events, side decking takes me like a minute, maybe 2 minutes tops, which is why I find it personally kind of hard to believe. This just to get off topic a little bit, that when people are taking 3 to 5 minutes to side deck, they're on BS and they're trying to stall you for time, which is what you can call the judge in a big tournament and get them a warning for that, because it shouldn't take that long on a side deck, especially at a high level, unless you're playing like a weird, quirky rogue deck and they don't know what the hell's going on. But if you're playing against a base meta deck and you're taking more than like a minute, 2 minutes to side deck, I think that's kind of fishy. But you know, once again, they might just be players who didn't have enough time to put the work in, so that plays a factor too. But what you don't want to do is go to a tournament and not know what you're siding in and out for each specific matchup, and or you do not want to know you don't want to not know what are your bad matchups. So you guys may say, "Hey, Chris, well, how do I learn these things if I barely have enough time to play?" You learn these things honestly just by playing. There's no way to cut the middleman and learn stuff that you can only learn by getting in the field and touching grass. So I highly recommend, if you guys can, finding the locals in your area, hitting up consistently, or going on Dueling Book and playing for free and learning these bad matchups. Dueling Book can be slightly queued because there's a lot of highly skilled players on there, and sometimes players cheat. So you got to kind of question the integrity of the game at times. But, you know, going on forums, going on YouTube, a great channel I like to watch when I'm trying to learn matchups is DB Grinder. Shout outs to bro. He puts out awesome content, and you get to literally watch competitive play at a high level and see what a deck's strength and weaknesses is. So I think this is all I could talk about, honestly, about complex deck strategy. If there's anything that I missed that a lot of you guys that may be really good with just deck building in general, let me know about that in the comments down below. Like I said, I got a video coming up on complex dueling strategy, so be on the lookout for that. And for you guys that do love my videos, sorry for the lack of videos I dropped last week. Like I said, I just started this 9 to 5 this week, and it's been kicking my butt just getting up hella early. My body's adjusting to everything, and I was getting massive headache. I just couldn't physically film a video, because if I did film a video, it would have come out like crap. So I'm trying to add a little editing spice to this, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, be on the lookout for more awesome content. I'm going to try to give you guys at least 3 to 5 videos a week, bare minimum. I'm not going to let this YouTube channel die down because I'm starting a 9 to 5. But anyway, man, short part of my personal life is over. If you guys are still at the end of this video, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for watching me consistently. Be sure to check out my channel sponsors in the description down below to save you guys some money on Yu-Gi-Oh products and Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I have an Amazon affiliate link. I have tradingcardmint.com, which is a local card shop in Illinois. They can save you guys 7% on your Yu-Gi-Oh products. And I also have Imperium Duelists to save you guys some money on your products as well that you purchase from them, like playmats, sleeves, and etc. So yeah, but check out everybody in my description down below. And thanks for watching to the end of this video. Let me know that you watched the end of the video. Put hashtag Henshin at the end of the video. If you guys don't know how to spell if you guys don't know how to spell it, just put hashtag Yu-Gi-Oh or hashtag Rogue Hero in the comment section. Just if I can know you guys made it to the end, if you guys give a F. Help push your boy in the algorithm. This video was great. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while now, and I got more helpful videos to come to help you guys become better players. Going back to my channel roots, because I really want to help people, honestly. That's my main goal with this channel. All right, man, it's your boy Rogue, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys in my next video.